something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches! Well, welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Scott.
Oh, hi, other Scott.
And you're our Vlascotters. You know what? I thought that was going to work in my head, but the minute I said it...
Vlascotters?
You're our Vlots.
Vlots?
Vlotners.
Vlotners.
Schvlotners.
Oh, I'm so kind of for Scott over
We're
here.
starting strong today, man. I can feel it.
Jay, what are you talking about? Of course,
we're the Pied Pipers. Come on in, everybody. How'd you like that?
We're not beaten down by the past 6 days, Jay. What are you talking about? Everything's perfectly fine. Listeria stands strong, Jay.
Listeria stands strong in solidarity. Yes, indeed. Pick up your pickets, your pitchforks, your torches. We ride at midnight. Listeria. It's all part of your contracts. You must show up. Yeah. Right? Every time someone moves to Listeria, make them sign a contract. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is just like you know,
HOA stuff.
Yeah. It's really It's like, guys, you just got to keep your lawn cut. Like, it's not that hard. That's
all we ask.
We're not trying to overreach, but at the same time, it's like we like.
But those last 2 pages. Overreach.
Yeah, man. You know what everyone likes about going to Tokyo? Those streets are clean. Like, let's keep them clean.
Okay.
You know, it's not that hard. Guys, it's just like, look.
Just put your rubbish bins
Linda,
away.
I understand you like garden gnomes, but you have too many, and I'm so sorry. It's driving down the home prices in Listeria. Come on, guys. Look, I don't want to issue these fines, but something's got to pay for the public pool. Oh. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the big Listeria neighborhood. I imagine Listeria is one large suburban neighborhood.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With just like a pool in the middle.
Sure.
You know?
Shape of a peach?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, the hot tub's the shape of the peach.
Oh.
The pool is one large comma. With the peach, in the bend of it, the peach hot tub's in the middle. I want that pool now that I'm talking about it. Well, it is right and good, the pool of the Oxford comma. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, Fix It. I'm Jay. That's Adam.
Hi.
We're both Scots. You may know us. You may know us from our YouTube channel, Previewed, where Adam and I react, review, and riff to all sorts of nerdy content. We're still waiting to hear on what that nerdy content is allowed to be.
Yeah, allowed to be for right now.
But we'll figure that out. But welcome to our show, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe shrunk a little too far to the quantum realm,
just a little too small,
and we fix it. And this week, Adam and I are going to, in an extension of a previous fix, Adam and I are going to be fixing, I believe it was 2021, 2020. Is this year?
Yes.
No way.
It came out this year.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Really?
I will double.
Time has no meaning anymore. The 2023 classic, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Yeah, it came out this year, bud.
Remember how the Wasp is in this movie? Because, it's in the title, and she's barely there. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It came out in February, Jay.
No way, dude. No way.
Yeah, that was 6 months ago.
No way.
5 months ago.
Yeah.
It's July.
We are taking our talents to the quantum realm this week.
5 months.
We have previously fixed Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second film. And I think these are going to be fun little extensions on what we've already done. I don't love doing these extension ones because that means I have to listen back to the podcast again.
Listen back?
Do you listen to this show?
Every week, Jay.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Really?
I love listening to us.
Oh, it's one of it. Like, look, I actually part of me enjoys editing this show because I feel like I do a good job. I'm not as good as our editors, but from a fancy movement perspective, I'm not as good. But I take some pride in it. But the one thing I hate about it was I have to watch the show.
A ringing endorsement for this content, Jay.
No. It's not about the quality of the show. It's like I was there. I already know what we're gonna say. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I'm not gonna listen to my own podcast. I was there.
Yeah, but don't you remember?
I already listened to it.
Yeah, but
well, listen to me talking. I don't know what you're saying over there.
You never listen to me. So listen to my half of the podcast.
You know what?
The half you missed.
Maybe you're onto something.
I listen every week.
You really do? Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't remember every little nugget, every little joke.
Look, I think we make a good product. I think other people should listen every week.
Sure.
I think Listeria's got a lot of houses to move. You know what I mean? We built this neighborhood out pretty big, and we need more folks.
Yeah, we do.
All right, we want a second pool.
Oh, a second pool,
which is a bigger comma outside of the other comma. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Look at you.
I know.
Housing and development.
Yeah.
Wouldn't think.
But before we get into Ant-Man and Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, it's easy to forget because she's barely in the movie. It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. My fix doesn't remedy that. And
really?
I don't.
Mine does.
I think there's too many. That's good. That's good because that was the one thing walking away from it. I was like, I didn't fix the Wasp problem, but that sucks. But I don't know. Anyways, this is the part of the show where Adam and I pick a topic of conversation. We're just catching up, just feeling each other out for the week. Not that we see each other most days, or at least talk to each other every day.
It's not like we communicate every day.
Most moments.
We don't. It's not like every other moment is, what's Jay doing right now?
Did he do that?
What's Jay up to?
Did he do that?
Is he doing all right?
A lot most, if you are actually doing that, most of the time right now, it is I am probably feeding a baby. Like that's the God's honest truth.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah.
When I question myself, I wonder what Jay's up to. I also have the answer.
I'm like,
I know exactly what you're doing at all times.
Yeah. But this is our segment we call Roll for Convo, where our producer Brian has given us 20 topics of conversation, and we roll a 20-sided die to see which one we are going to talk about. And I am rolling right now.
Ooh.
That, my friend, is a 4.
Ooh, a gentleman's 4.
These dice are hard to read.
They are. Well, it's also because they're under the lights.
Oh, that's fair.
And on a white table.
Yeah, but I mean, they do look amazing. They do look really fun under the lights. It's all the red glitter in there. But wowzers, bowsers! Every time I'm like, am I getting old?
Number 4.
Yeah.
What one movie changed your life? Also, you can just kind of define what that means by changed.
Several things are coming to mind. For me.
Okay.
For me in particular, well, on an exterior like interest level, for me, the film American Beauty changed me pretty significantly.
Really?
In that, and I'm not sure if that movie holds up. I'm gonna be honest.
I've only seen it once.
But that movie, when I saw that movie, I was like, that was the movie that I was like, oh. It was the first time I like noticed the artistry of movie making.
Okay.
Like I noticed like the shots,
those dream sequence
and
shots
like what they're like going like. Oh, they're like how to tell it like an artistic story through film. I'm not saying it's the most artistic movie of all time, but that was the first movie that I noticed that, and I was like, oh, I think I really like movies. But for me as a person,
yes.
The movie that I think changed my life more than anything is High Fidelity with Jack Black and Rob. No, he's Rob in the movie. John Cusack. Yes. There we go. Mostly because it led me to read the book High Fidelity.
Oh.
And that movie, or that book specifically, I've read it numerous times. That book like actually like really helped me like understand a lot of like myself and how I like that whole book is about like, hey, maybe you're the problem. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about other people in this circumstance? And it it kind of changed my perspective of being like, how am I being in certain circumstances? And it kind of changed the way I look at the world in a pretty spectacular fashion.
Oh, that's.
I'm not saying it's the deepest book in the world.
No.
And I know your answer, the movie that changed your life was The Passion of the Christ. I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
It's where,
Holy crap.
Yeah.
How did you know?
But yeah, there's obviously some like smaller ones here and there, but yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You know what? I probably, with enough guesses, I probably could have gotten High Fidelity. You've mentioned it a lot lately.
It's one of, I mean, dude, the fact that you haven't seen that movie blows my mind. It's a fantastic movie.
From everything I've heard from you,
it is the best, as far as it is the best example of how when you're like, it's a movie where John Cusack is doing a lot of talking to camera.
Oh, really?
Like it is a lot of like exposition and stuff is like literally breaks the fourth wall.
Oh,
like he's just like you as an audience are a character in this movie. Not like it's not taken to the nth degree, but like
you are all yes.
It doesn't. You don't feel like you're watching a story. You feel like maybe you're a fly on the wall. Like you feel like you're actually in the room for the majority of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the downtime I have between all the editing I have to do, I'll watch High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Because if you keep talking about it,
I actually would really like to watch it with you.
Really?
Maybe not, because sometimes when you put too high in expectations on something and you watch something with someone, you have a tendency to be like, that's how Kimberly completely understood reaction content, because she was
watching you watch.
She was like, the amount of times that like we've been watching something fun together and I've just been watching you watch the thing. And she was like, yeah, this is gonna, when we started doing reaction content, she was like, yeah, I watch you watch stuff for free. So
well, I mean, she did marry you. So like,
yeah. It's
not, I mean, she's paying her own toll.
She really does love me. She really does. I mean, I love her too, of course, but like she's like over the moon for old Jaybird, and it's great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So you would watch me watch the movie to make sure that, or to see when I would be like, ooh, yes, But on all the same points that.
Yeah, I'd be like, how do you like it?
Did you like it?
Do you like it?
It's
like when you show someone Star Wars for the first time, like,
yeah, pretty cool.
It's almost too much pressure. It almost ruins it. You have to Schrodinger's box someone's like first Star Wars watch.
Is that what you're gonna do with Joseph? Just kind of place them on a chair and put New Hope. And
have I told you my fun idea that I thought, and I think it might actually be a good business idea because I'm a millennial and I can't not turn any of my interests into a job.
Sure. You have not. What is it?
Oh, I think it'd be really, really fun to like rent out a movie theater on a Saturday and market it as, hey dads, do you want to show your kids Star Wars for the first time in a movie theater, like with full sound, the way it's supposed to be seen? Like, it's a kid-friendly showing.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars is kid-friendly. I mean, the guy gets his arm cut
But,
off.
like, if you want to show, like, it's like a series of, like, showing, like, if you want to show your kid this movie for the first time in the big theater, and then just do a screening of Star Wars, and it's just kid-friendly, and then, like, just watch, in, like, the way it's meant to be. Sure. I think you'd sell those theaters out.
I mean, yes, but then all that money would have to go to Disney.
Yeah, and that's
and they would, because they wouldn't let you do that unless you wanted to maybe, I don't know, start like an underground theater.
That's the
chain.
frustrating thing about George. Like, I actually think that George Lucas selling the rights to Star Wars to Disney at the end of the day was the right call from an organization standpoint.
Okay.
But but that's the thing. Like, if it was still Lucasfilm, like, I feel like I could just like write a letter to George and be like, "Hey, we're gonna do this and raise money for charity." He'd be like, "Yeah, play Star Wars. Who cares? Hey, it's me, George Lucas. Play Star Wars. Oh, go for it."
Wow, that's the first and last time you're ever gonna do a George Lucas impression, huh?
Nope, I'm doing it forever now. It's stuck.
Forever.
Oh
my
God, please, I'm trapped in this body. I'm George Lucas.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh. Anyways.
Okay, so my turn.
Yeah.
Independence Day.
What? What? Tell me more. Welcome to Earth. All right. Okay. How did that? Yeah, I don't. That was not in all. Excuse me. What? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Independence Day.
Are you not going to elaborate?
No, I'm just enjoying watching you react to me right now.
All right, next segment. Moving. Was it just the speech was so inspiring to you that you just?
No, that was the first time. Maybe not the first time, but when I was starting to nudge up against young adult Adam.
Okay.
Because the movie came out when I was a senior in high school.
Okay, was this like the first movie you like smooched in while you were watching it?
No, I didn't get my first kiss for a few more years later.
Oh, okay.
But
You ever made out at the movies? It's fun.
I don't think so. I'm there, Jay. I'm there to watch a movie.
Oh man,
I'm not there to smooch a girl.
Oh,
I'm here
yeah.
to watch a film.
Yeah. Kimberly and I have a running joke. We went very early on in our relationship. We went and saw Oz the Great and Powerful and just made out the whole time. So like people were like, "Oh yeah, that Oz and Great and Powerful." We're like, "Yeah, we don't know. What happens in that movie? We don't know." Like, didn't you see it? Yeah. It's fun.
My eyes were closed for most of the time.
Yeah, we had a good time.
No, so Independence Day. Oh, this is a fun film. This is great. And it'd be years before I realized it was just a remake of War of the Worlds.
Whatever.
Not that I care. I don't care at all about it. I was like, oh, I guess you're right. You know what? Don't care. It's awesome. Cool. A computer can talk to a 97 Apple can talk to a alien's computer.
Sure.
I don't care. Shut up. It's fun.
Yeah, man. You got to give their computers a cold.
The battle scene, the dogfight scene at the end of Act 3 was so mind-blowing to 17-year-old Adam. I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want. Oh, I want to do that. You can do that with computers? Oh, I want to do that. Which is why I was an engineering major at Virginia Tech for my first year of college, because I mistakenly thought that computer engineering would lead towards that.
CGI.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the path to CGI. It's art school.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was like, computer engineering, computers. That's all computer graphics. Oh, that's amazing. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I get to school and it's like, this is just drawing on graph paper and making. I'm in trouble.
You didn't enjoy engineering? I feel like you would like that. I feel like you would like the process of it. Like it's all. Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Huh.
No, I am a creative, Jay.
I know you are.
But my work has to be. I can't. The rule set of engineering and all the math and the stuff. Was
well, if you think, it's creative in its own way. Like building a bridge is fascinating.
Yes, absolutely. But my brain.
I don't know why I'm fighting you on this. I really don't.
My brain didn't work that way, and I found out almost immediately. And so the first year I was trapped in an engineering degree I knew I was never going to be able to get out of.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I had to leave the engineering school, and they did not like that.
Yeah.
Because they were all jerks about it.
It's like how my mom went to art school, and then because she wanted to be an interior designer and realized it was a completely different degree. She was like, I got a year into art school, and I was like, when are we going to do like? And they're like, no, this is
art.
This is a BFA. What are you doing here? This is not. Yeah. That's a business you're trying to run. We're trying to make art. She's like, oh no. Oh no.
Yes.
That mistake.
Yep. So then I from there wandered around, got into TV and stuff like that, and figured out got on this path. Thank God. Hooray! But so Independence Day was the one. I was like, oh, I want to do something in the movies. I want to do something creative.
That's cool, man. Good for you.
Second movie, then it really impacted my life.
Lashy, I'm so glad. Sometimes we roll this, and I can see your eyes get big, and I'm like, he's got nothing. And I thought that was going to be the case here, but I'm really glad to know that
the first answer was, that's Independence Day, because I remember in the theater like,
hell yeah, man.
It was in the theater for Independence Day, and it was like, I want to do this, and then there was, sub answer to this question, because it took place in a movie theater. There was in college, after my first year, I was like, I'm an engineering major. Oh, I don't want to be an engineering major. This is not the path I want to be on. I'm not, and also failing at this.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. I spiraled because I was 18, 19. I didn't know how to do anything yet. Yeah. And I didn't know how to figure out how to get the answers to.
Is there any more unique flavor than like 19-year-old boy trying to figure out what the trying to just wrestle with the infinity of what the rest of their life seems like, and then you get to a point where you're like, I gotta figure it out, and it's like you don't at all. You don't at all. You're on a lily pad, man. This is an ocean.
Yep. You're only just beginning to swim.
Oh man.
And so there was a lot of soul searching and a lot of depression and just trying to figure out what do I want to do, and I'm scared to do it because I was like, I think I want to do television stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get into the making of the stuff. I didn't know how to do it, and I was really scared too because I'm from Northern Virginia, man. That's not a beacon of people making movies and TV shows and stuff. It's not the entertainment center. It's not or LA like in New York. Like I didn't know anything about anything. No one around me knew anything. Like I'm completely alone. No one knows the path to this.
Yeah.
And we went. It was Christmas break, I believe, of my sophomore year, where we went to the movies to see some film, and before the movie started. God, you know what? In this movie, this story sounds like it's really important, and it actually is, but I can't remember the actual thing we watched. But I remember
it doesn't matter.
It was a Coca-Cola commercial.
Okay.
Before the movie started.
Huh.
You know those little like 30-second minute long ads that Coke had?
No,
or maybe still has. We never.
Where like you go into like on a submarine adventure into like the depths of a Coke or. Yeah, something like that.
One of those, but it was the holiday themed one. So like it was like those special little mini like micro movies about.
No, I know exactly
everyone loves
what
a
you're
Coke.
talking
It brings
about.
the family together. But for whatever happened in that 30-second, minute-long Coke commercial,
do you ever really want to like just like taste a Coke that is? I want to taste the Coke that is bringing these families together.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I'm like,
gotta be that original.
This has got to be different Coke because like everyone's just like, oh, Coca-Cola, we're all standing around the Christmas tree, and I'm like,
so
no
refreshing.
one's ever done that. Everyone's just like, I just need some caffeine in me to get me through. Like I'm wildly hungover. Who's got a Coke? Like no one's. It's never that. But woo, that must be just so good. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I just got excited
from that family tradition of Coke.
Yeah,
yes.
man.
But whatever happened in this commercial, somehow the message was relayed in that 30 seconds to a minute that I like realized it was after that movie. Is just like, oh, I just need to make the decision, and so I want to do television. And
you can afford as much Coca-Cola products as possible.
Yes,
I need it.
But it just gave me the confidence to make the decision.
Yeah.
And I wish I remember exactly what it was, but like after it was like something like, no, just it's okay. Just it's gonna be hard, but it's not gonna be okay. You have to say yes. You just have to say yes to yourself and do it. And I sat through the movie. I don't even remember what movie it was, but I remember I was sitting through the movie. I was like, I made the decision. That commercial helped me make a decision, and I'm gonna do it now. It's weird. I don't know what I'm going to do or how, but I've made the decision to attempt. Mm-hmm. Then the actual other movie that really helped me in my life, Swingers. Did you ever?
Still never seen it.
Yep. We need to do a double feature
of High Fidelity and Swingers. Okay.
Because Swingers was the movie of watching. Maybe
we'll put that on Patreon.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a similar thing. Swingers is about Mikey trying to get over his ex-girlfriend. And he just can't.
Yeah.
And his friends are trying to help him, and they're trying to give him the confidence to like just move on and just do stuff. But he does it at his own pace. He figures himself out. But we watch him fail. And it's so like secondhand cringe. Not even cringe is the term now. It's just embarrassment. But like, no, please stop doing it. Oh no, I understand why you're doing it. Oh, it hurts my soul because I would probably do the same thing. Oh no, Mikey, no. But like, it just helped me. Even though I wasn't like dating anyone at the time, just kind of like, oh, dating is gonna be rough, and having the confidence of like getting out there, and like putting yourself like, being in a relationship is really hard, and just watching a guy deal with a breakup.
You should have also seen High Fidelity because the secondhand punch of that is like, relationships are gonna be hard, and you might be what's hard, and maybe you need to work on yourself a little bit, like,
Yeah,
maybe you need a Roy Kent and go to therapy. A Roy Kent at the end of season 3.
In college, when I was in college, back in '97 through '02, because I'm so old.
Yay! Yay! I love that it's a catchphrase.
Virginia Tech was wired for the internet back then. We had Ethernet. Tech was one of the first colleges to be wired for the Ethernet.
Whoa,
yeah, I know.
Big deal.
It was a big deal. It was a massive deal.
At the time, that's a huge deal.
But
we had to go to like a LAN cafe for that.
We didn't. We could do it all in our dorms. We had Quake 2 was big. at the time. And
don't
we
even-
had the mods.
Bro.
And so, like, those
Grappling hooks?
Yep, grappling hooks.
Yeah.
Dude, we made a clan. It was for like the first couple years we were in the dorms.
Ooh, that's...
We did our homework, or some of us didn't, and we just played Quake.
Guys, for those of youngins who are watching, I don't know. I know our audience skews a little older, and that's great. But gaming has never quite recreated that vibe.
Yep.
Where like you had a clan in a game, and like you had to build a website for it. Oh man!
And the grappling hook mod, and all just gibbing people and railguns. Like it was.
Oh man!
It's kind of like before BRs. That was peak multiplayer, online
Yup.
multiplayer.
Yup.
It hasn't gotten much better since that. It really hasn't.
Yeah.
And
The only thing better than that, in my opinion, is full LAN Halo.
Oh, okay.
Like 8v8 Halo. That was the only thing I ever experienced to like match that Quake vibe.
Oh.
But yeah, that Quake. Me and my buddy would go to a LAN cafe and just like play pickup Quake.
I got next. You put quarter next to the computer.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was fun as hell. It was like pickup basketball, just with Quake. It was fun as hell.
Oh, I bring that up because my gamer tag in college was rated R guy from Swingers. Because there's a speech like, I don't need you to be the PG-13 guy who's all like nice and sweet and innocent and like just trying to be like the best guy. No, I need you to be the rated R guy. Yeah. The guy's kind of mysterious. Guy's got a little bit of edge to him. Might be a little, it's like, my guy, maybe he's a little mean. Like, you need to be that guy. Come on, Mikey. Just kind of, it's okay. Because Mikey's like a good guy. Mikey's a good guy and like doesn't know how to be like, tough and mean or just like kind of confident at the moment. So his friends are trying to like pump him up to be like, so they call him the rated R guy. So all the guys are like in college was just like, well, that's Adam. Adam, you need to be the rated R guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that's my gamer tag.
Yeah, hell
rated
yeah.
R guy.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Swingers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely do that double feature. That'd be awesome.
I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. I think that we could just do it just for us.
We could.
We can make content around it, but
we could.
But
also just be for us.
But also literally just for us. Whew, okay. Ant-Man and Quantumania.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Jay. She's also in the movie.
Barely.
She's also in the title.
Barely. If I were her, I would be so pissed off about that movie. Like... All right. Well, before we hop into this movie, we have, of course, a little business to take care of up top. Just to let us in on all the details about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, our producer Brian, why don't you let us know about a little bit more about this film and roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Today we're trying to fix the third Ant-Man movie, 2023's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Directed by Peyton Reed and written by Jeff Loveless, it stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Jonathan Majors, Catherine Newton, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas, and more. The movie cost around $200 million to make and made $476.1 million at the box office. It's technically considered a box office disappointment because it failed to hit its break-even point of $600 million. However, it's still the best opening for an Ant-Man movie, but it had the largest second-week domestic drop-off of any MCU movie at 69%. If you care, this movie has the lowest MCU Rotten Tomatoes score at 46%, and I do want to point out that the audience score on this is 82%. And since Adam listens and watches every week, hello, Adam, I love High Fidelity a lot, so you should definitely give it a spin. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Great job, Brian. What a gent.
He drank the goo, Jay.
He drank the goo. Those jokes didn't land for me. Ever. Didn't really find... I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't find this movie that funny.
No? Not as funny as the other ones?
Nope.
Oh,
I
wow.
think this movie has actually some funny moments, truly. Mm-hmm. I think... Like, there are some funny bits, but there are also some bits that, like, they reek of, wow, everyone on set that day thought this was hilarious. But I don't think it's landing right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, some of them were not.
They're not bad, but
No,
it's like, but it's not sharp. It's not as like you have to kind of land your jokes properly, and I don't think a lot of these, they're just like half measures to a certain degree.
Listen, I like this movie a lot. I walked out of the studio, I was like, this is one of my top 5 Marvel films. Really? Oh, yeah. I really like this movie.
Well, I don't think it's like, bad, but I think this movie coasts on the performances.
Yes. But there is some glaring, like, some of the humor is not as good as the first 2.
This is top 5 for you.
Well, it's the structure.
Oh,
the Act 3 structure is amazing in this movie.
I would agree with that.
And I love the third act.
Yes, it's fun.
It's fantastic.
Some people complain about the ants at the very end, and I just like...
No.
And I was like, no, it's Ant-Man. This is great.
And they set it up.
They did their due diligence on it.
Yeah, it was perfectly set up. It was a perfectly set up MacGuffin.
Before we launch into more commentary, we should probably, for those of you who have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, we'll do our little segment we like to call Plot Drop.
Good job.
Plot Drop.
I thought I was going to introduce it because you're the one doing it, but you can introduce yourself.
I don't know. I'm just for me, we have done enough episodes where we have completely forgotten our own.
That's true.
That I really am trying to stay on, not forgetting stuff.
Great.
So we keep our producer Brian super happy.
We want to keep him happy. You want to see Brian when he's angry. No, please don't. We don't want to see that one again.
We really don't. So
we're scared.
So Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It is post Infinity War, and Ant-Man is living the high life, being known as the Avenger, one of the Avengers who saved the day. Yeah. Scott finds out that his daughter is in jail, and he goes and breaks her out. Hope is running Pym Industries and being awesome. Scott has to go bail his daughter Cassie out of jail, and he's very frustrated about that fact. Mm-hmm. We find out that she has been doing Ant-Man things.
She has been doing Ant-Man things.
And trying to help people, and Scott is not thrilled about that. And so...
Well, this is important. Help people... Why?
Because they're displaced.
Because of the blip.
Yes.
That plot line from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it comes back here because Cassie's been trying to help the people who are...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, this informs her character.
For me, yeah.
But they don't do enough of a good job of...
No,
hey, this is really important.
They botch Cassie so bad in this movie, I can't even stand it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. She's a good actress. I liked her, but yeah.
No, she's a great actress. It's nothing. It's not her personally.
Yeah, it's not at all. Yeah.
It's the one part of the script I was like, oh, all the father-daughter stuff doesn't hit at all.
It could very easily.
Yes. And so we find out that Cassie has been doing a lot of experimenting in the quantum realm with help of Hope. We find out that she has built a machine that is trying to map the quantum realm. Now, we have the whole gang in the lab while she's working on this. Janet freaks out. Why are you sending a signal into the quantum realm? And then there is an explosion with the device, and everyone is sucked into the quantum realm, including the majority of the laboratory, including an ant colony as well. So Hope and Janet and Hank are split off from Cassie and Scott. Cassie and Scott find a group of rebels. They drink the goo so they can speak the language, which honestly, that is an extraordinary... That bit was funny, and it also... just goes a long way to explaining how we can all understand each other. And yes. As an audience member, for me, it's like how I get really weird about time fidelity.
Okay.
About like knowing where we are in time throughout the whole movie.
A story. Yeah.
Or like how long time like things get timed out. That is another thing. I'm like, cool. How are we all communicating? This doesn't make any sense. This is an alien world in the truest of senses.
I think the mistake was that the goo was a person.
Yeah.
It could just have been goo.
And then Janet, Hope, and Hank, we find out that Janet has already been in the quantum realm, so she knows a lot and she has secrets. They make their way to one of the major cities so they can find some information on possibly how to get out and how to find Scott and Cassie. Scott and Cassie are attacked by Modok with the rebels, and they are taken captive and taken to him. A lot of hymns in this movie. Him.
He thinks he's him, and he actually is. He is him.
Yeah. We get to meet Bill Murray for a hot second.
Yeah.
They escape. We get a lore dump from Janet. We find out that she, while she was stranded in the quantum realm, another person landed there. That person being Kang.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror.
There are many Kangs.
Yes. Kang the Conqueror. They get along. She doesn't know anything about him. She helps him rebuild his ship and helps rebuild the energy source that powers his ship. As she's helping him rebuild the ship, and they reactivate it, it has a neuro engine, and as she touches the engine while putting it in, she sees everything that the reason Kang was put there in the first place. It was not an experiment gone awry. He was exiled into the quantum realm. And so she uses Pym particles to expand the engine so he cannot leave, and she runs away. And then is eventually saved. And so Kang captures Cassie and Scott, uses Cassie as a hostage to make Scott go into the engine, shrink it down with Pym particles so he can reactivate it. He goes into the engine, sees bunches of themselves. That's where all of our characters meet back up. The engine is shrunk. Kang has what he needs. He absconds to his base.
Ooh, good word choice.
We find that the ants colony that have gone into the quantum realm went into a different pocket dimension where they lived for thousands of years and have created a super society and are of huge ants.
Yep.
Which is great.
It's awesome. It's so
great.
Good. It's the best thing of the movie.
All of the people of the quantum realm basically band together to stop Kang, and Kang is defeated, but he also issues a warning I'm here to stop what's coming.
You have no idea what's
idea what's about to happen. And so everyone escapes back into the regular realm, and the day is saved.
Yay, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't think I missed anything.
You did not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Modok was Yellow Jacket, which I cannot tell you. The way that Modok is done in this movie vexes me to no end. Vexes me to the truest sense of the word.
Yeah.
I cannot land on whether it is a spectacular choice or complete dog water.
Oh,
I cannot. I think it's no. That's if you're gonna do. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not bad. And then I'm like, yeah, but it's stupid. It's kind of stupid. But also conceptually, Modok kind of stupid. Is this stupid? No, I think this is kind of fun. I'm not sure.
Can I tell you?
But isn't it fun when we get Modok in a movie? Yeah, that is fun. I'm just circling round and round and round.
Seeing it the second time, I think it was an excellent choice. It made perfect story sense.
Yeah.
There were two mistakes. One, the CG they used for it somehow made it look like his face was a two-dimensional image on with the perfectly fine, whatever body he was on. Mm-hmm. The body and stuff was fine. All that stuff was, but his face seemed like a projection on a screen and not a three-dimensional image that was in the world. It was close, but there's enough of a disconnect there. Something is wrong with his face. They did a very good job, but it wasn't good enough.
To be uncomfortable though. I don't know.
But it wasn't good enough because every scene it takes you out of it a little bit. But also, they made Darren kind of a wimp.
Yeah.
And his character,
he kind of sucks.
He kind of sucks. His character growth, he could have had an arc of reconnecting to his humanity and be like, Darren, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
I know I kicked your butt and sent you down here, and I guess I'm sorry. You were gonna kill Cassie, by the way. So you kind of deserve this, but you didn't deserve, I guess, that. But come on, man. You don't have to be this guy. You were my Hank could be like, you were my protege.
Yeah.
You deserved better. You deserve better than this.
I'm just realizing I need to remember a name that I wrote in my old Ant-Man fix. Because I was like, oh yeah, my Modok. Well, this is something I was already working on, but my Modok is not Darren.
Yeah.
because I set up Modok in my Ant-Man and the Wasp fix.
You did.
I just can't believe that they put him in a movie. I think this movie has a lot of like glaring errors, but it's the thing is that like I like Paul Rudd as Ant-Man so much.
Yep.
And also Michelle Pfeiffer and Jonathan Winters. It's Winters, right? Am I saying that right?
Majors?
Jonathan Majors. Why do I say Jonathan? Jonathan Winters is not. They're completely two different people.
They are very different.
Jonathan
people.
Majors. They give so much. They give such good performances.
They do.
That it really like, and they like Michelle Pfeiffer is actually my favorite part of this movie, in that while I think the exposition, the way that they choose to reveal the exposition makes sense to a degree, I still don't understand why she never told anyone anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't. But for the way that for the elegant way that I think that they show the exposition, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, we are informed about Kang thoroughly before even meeting him.
Yes.
And it is all on Michelle Pfeiffer's face.
Yes. Well, it's kind of like it's the same introduction of John Wick.
Yes. Yep. When she is like, why would you do it? Like when she freaks out when the thing is, I was like, I buy it. I was like it's a gut response. I was like, oh shit, this is bad. Okay, good for you. But yeah, I just don't know why she wouldn't have said anything, even to Hank.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. The information of her backstory could have been doled out a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
But that still makes the story happen. But it was just so 0 to 100. And then, like, why didn't you tell me? You should have told me here. Okay, but why didn't you tell me this here? Why are we waiting 40 minutes, an hour into the film before we get this information?
Oh, 1,000%.
We should have gotten this information
earlier. Did
earlier.
I do that episode straight from the dome? I'm looking through. I'm not seeing it.
Uh-oh.
Did I do that episode? Did I just like jazz that one?
Did you beautiful mind it?
I may have just jazzed that one. I was like,
think
why do
so.
I see Benjamin Harrison? Oh yeah. Yeah. I may have just domed that one. All right, whatever. That's fine.
Cassie's character should have gotten more time.
1,000%. Like 1,000%. The whole movie should have been about. It should have been the relationships. It should have been Hope and her mother.
Yep.
And Scott and Cassie.
Yep.
With Hank just, I mean, like, who doesn't want Michael Douglas running around?
Being awesome.
Yeah, being great.
Leading ants.
Yeah.
Being a cool guy. But yeah, it's just what Cassie was doing in the beginning of the movie, the reason why she got arrested was kind of really important, because the situation going on in the real world was kind of similar to what was going on in the quantum realm.
A little bit.
But enough to work.
They would have had to push down a little harder on the gas on that.
Just a little bit. But Cassie, when we meet Cassie, she's already like, Dad, things are horrible out here. We need a hero. Why did you stop being a hero? People are still need superheroes' help.
Yeah. And
you've given up. You're writing books now, and she's really, really angry.
Yeah.
But we don't see why.
No.
We just get her being angry, and she's angry through most of the movie.
And there's also the added level of, why would you be mad at Paul Rudd? He's Paul Rudd. He's great. We love him.
Yes.
How can he doesn't?
There's got to be a reason.
You got to show him being you got to show the cracks in him a little bit more.
Yes.
And you got to lean into it a little hard because we all just love Paul Rudd. You know?
Yeah. And when they're in the car and after she's gotten picked up, bailed out for jail, Paul Rudd's able to smooth over everything by like joking around about, you listen to your audiobook in the car? What are you talking about? No, it's on the radio. Something's clearly wrong with the radio to turn it up. I don't know. Something clearly wrong. Hope is in the car, but she's like not in the scene.
However, my favorite line in the whole movie, or like my favorite exchange, is when Hank quotes his book. And Scott's like, you read my book? And he's like, every goddamn word. Because you feel the love, but because like seeing all the promos between Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas, like you can just like feel like, and seeing the evolution of their relationship, when I'm just like, that finally like solidifies like, we're bros, man. And I'm like, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fun? I love it. It doesn't really matter. And it's not even really like, it's not even like the payoff for something that's built up. I just Like from a meta perspective, it just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's why people like the Ant-Man films, even for all their flaws, is like you can tell most of these characters like really genuinely love each other.
Yeah. The Ant
even
family's great.
Yeah, even Scott and his ex-wife and her new husband, like they're like part of the family. Like
Yes.
they really love Cassie. They really love Scott. Like it's kind of like, okay, you're a nice guy, even though in the first movie you're kind of like a jerk.
Yeah.
But like, oh no, you're actually not a jerk. You were great.
And part of me gets frustrated by this movie from an Ant-Man perspective is that we have built out this entire like we have this whole stable of characters that I like that are not in this movie.
No, they're not.
Like
they're not even referenced.
I don't know where Bobby Cannavale fits in this movie, but I want Bobby Cannavale in this movie.
Yes.
My
daughter's where? She was practicing what? What is going? Cassie, what are you doing? Or maybe they maybe they understand her more. Maybe they are on her side for doing these things.
Yeah, I know.
There's.
But trying to tell the Kang story, like I didn't figure out a way to fix that.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, maybe. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I can squeak it in.
Okay.
I think I know where I can squeak it. But I'm also including some other characters that are fan favorites. So
yeah, me too. Because they're also not in the movie.
Yeah, I just like the thing is that like I really like this story, and I think the concept of Kang was set up well. So like it's hard to argue with it in that I think like in the grand scope of what they're trying to do in the grand scope of what they're trying to make MCU wise, I think this movie rules.
Yeah.
In the trilogy of Ant-Man movies, I think this one kind of falls apart.
This could have used a little bit. If this movie was 20 minutes longer and maybe rearranged a little bit with some more stronger character bits, I think this movie would have been even better than it already is.
I'd agree. My movie is definitely a little bit longer.
So is mine.
Yeah, there's a couple more moves in there that I think are just kind of like we don't. Another issue for me is that I don't think we learn enough about the quantum realm.
Oh,
I don't think we learn it. Like, do you know how like in Guardians, when we like go to new alien places, we kind of relish in what's weird about that place for a minute?
Sure.
Just a couple of extra shots.
The space station's all like flesh.
We do a couple of bits about how weird where we are is. The quantum realm doesn't we don't really do that.
No, it's just an alien world.
And anything that's cool and interesting is just a means to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like the scene where like Janet like cuts that dude's arm off and stabs him and is like, you're back. And they give her a thing. I was like, oh yeah, this rules. I want more of this.
I would like context to this, please.
Who are you guys?
Yeah.
What's your situation?
Uh-huh.
Whenever they go like they're that is one thing I definitely deal with in mine. It's like I want to know all the different weird places here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does all this work? What's the organization? Like, Kang kind of took over. What was it like before that? How does this work?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Like, I want to like the quantum realm. If we're adding all of these like new places, like in Shang-Chi, they spend some time there. They like what was the name of that place?
Oh.
Tai Lung.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. We get to relish in how different this place is.
Yeah, with all the animals,
the like
Pokemon,
I would argue like a large amount of the success of Black Panther is just how cool Wakanda is, and we get to be in this cool place.
Yeah,
like let's relish in this place. They'd never relish in the place.
They didn't relish.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, and granted, they're like terrified to be there because it's not a place they're supposed to be, and I appreciate that. But also, like, let's have some fun.
Yes.
Yeah. But also, wow, Majors is so scary as Kang. He's maybe one of the.
Yeah, he was really scary.
Who knows what's going to happen with all of that? Who knows
I don't know.
what's up?
Because I mean that after credit scene was, or mid credit scene, I guess was.
Oh,
it was a little weird.
I hate the end credits.
Yeah, it's not great.
You know why?
With the Loki one or the mid credit scene with all the.
the mid credit scenes with all the Kangs.
Yeah.
I hate it. You know why?
Why?
You know what's a lot scarier than just all of the Kangs in the Coliseum just like going nuts for no reason? Them all just standing there very quietly and patiently and waiting for the Kangs to arrive. When they're all like, ah! I was like, that's not Kang. Who are all these weird different... There can be some weird outliers.
Sure.
But I was like, if they're just like walking out of the podium and there's just in a Coliseum full of Kangs just like waiting...
Quietly.
Yeah.
Because they're all like really
menacingly. Yeah. That's
with
ways,
different variations.
I felt like that was
costuming.
I feel like that was the one fundamental misunderstanding of what they were going for with Kang.
Because
tiny little scene.
Because the 2 Kangs, not counting the 3 that spoke in that scene, the 2 Kangs that we've saw before.
Yeah, Ramnut or whatever.
I don't even.
Ramut.
Sure. The one from this movie was, quiet, menacing, like very menacing. Like he spoke with purpose.
Yeah.
The one from Loki, was a little, he was like, I'm like the good guy. Like I'm the one that solved all this. Like you need to, but again, spoke with a little purpose, but it was a little bit more loose, not as menacing because he wasn't trying to be. But they had a similar way they comported themselves.
There's a fundamental understanding of Kang, and then that final scene kind of ruined it.
The 3 of them that were talking kind of held true to the first 2.
Yeah.
Talking, they were put together, they knew what they were doing, stuff like that. They weren't acting crazy, and then outside it's everyone's posing and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, it feels like it just felt like they had too much fun in the green screen room for a day.
Yeah.
I was let's do some crazy stuff, and it's no, I think. Yeah. I don't know, but also, wow. When she's like, "What are you gonna go do?" and he's like, "Win," and I was like, that shook me to my very core. When he talks, it really resonates.
Yeah.
In a way that is
spooky,
very, very scary. And I think, man, are they gonna have to recast? I don't know what's going on with all that. The proof will be in the pudding.
Sure, yeah,
innocent until proven guilty. But also, if your PR team is ditching you, I don't know.
We'll see how that shakes out. I don't know.
It's not great. It's not great, but it's murky water because I'm just man, it's having the thought of I hope he's innocent because I like him in my comic book movie. It's that ain't the take. That ain't it. No. I was let's just let the chips land. You know what? It's our motto right now here at Preview. Shit's crazy. Let's just let everything land and then we can assess. Let's stop trying to put everything back in the bag while it's still floating in the air.
Let everything settle first. Yep.
Oh boy. All right. I think we should fix this movie.
Let's get to the fixes.
All right, Adam. I think you're going.
I'm going
Ant-Man, you go first.
I'm going first.
I will say this: if you wanted to have a frame, if this is your first episode ever listening to Fix It, or ever watching Fix It on YouTube, if you would like to have a little frame of reference as to what things that are going into our fixes, you can check out our reaction to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I think is actually some pretty darn good fixes from the both of us.
We did a great job of that.
Having listened through it recently, I was like, we did a good job.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you can't listen to our podcast a few days after we recorded it, but months down the line?
Yes.
Okay.
After I have forgotten what I said.
Oh, okay.
But if it's been 2 days later, I'm like, yo, this, wow.
Okay. Okay. All right. So my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This is how we start. With Scott in San Francisco. There is no flashback to the quantum realm. It is Scott in San Francisco, and everything is fantastic and fun because he's Scott Lang. He's one of the Avengers that saved the world, or actually the galaxy, or the reality. Everything's great with Scott. But here are some little changes for the montage that we do in the beginning of the movie. Scott checks in with Luis, Kurt, and Dave at ex-con security because they still have a business together. Because remember, they were all in business together before the blip?
Yeah.
So they were in the other 2 movies and were pretty important. So they're in this movie too. And they're doing all right because business is up because the blip has caused them a little bit of social unrest. Things are not entirely back to normal yet. So ex-con security has got a lot of business. So they're doing great. We see Hope at Pym Tech. And, she's the same thing. She's saving the world. She's using the technology to help clothe and feed and house a bunch of people. And that's great. But we're also going to see Hope, how she's actually doing that. Because we just kind of get a couple sentences. And then Scott shows up in the movie and let's go drink a beer. We're going to hang a little bit of time. They're not going to go on a date for this. We're going to see Hope, how it's going for Hope. And yes, she's doing that. And she's trying her best. But it's not exactly easy because there's a lot of politics and red tape. Because helping people is great, And yes, we're trying, but it's also really hard to do all the things. And she's running into roadblocks.
Yeah.
And we're going to see her, like, dealing with, we're not going to spend a ton of time, but we're just going to see that, it's not as easy as Scott made it seem in the original version of the movie. So then we Hope and that after we see Hope kind of deal with some stuff, then Scott and Hope go on a date.
Oh, okay.
They actually go on a date.
Their relationship.
Yes,
actually
because
have a scene between the two of them.
Yes,
before the end.
Because they love each other.
Yeah,
and a lot, and they are dating.
And also, but we need to actually see that.
Yes. Yes. So they actually go on a date. They just don't go to the top of the Golden State or the Golden Gate Bridge. No, we
Good
see them.
shot though.
It's a great shot, but they actually go on a date. And it's nice, and they catch up because they love each other, and they talk about stuff.
And it's a great opportunity for exposition, and
we learn more about stuff, where they are with both their lives and stuff like that. And because they're hanging out. But Hope brings up Cassie, and Scott's like, "Oh, she's hanging out with her friends tonight. I'm sure she's fine. She'll be back at the house later." Here's the thing: Cassie's not fine. She's not hanging out with her friends. She's down trying to help the homeless people that were displaced by the blip, and we're gonna see them protesting, trying to raise awareness of this issue of hey guys, I'm glad everyone's back, but things aren't exactly normal. We were all living in a place, and now we can't because everyone else came back. What are we doing? The situation's not solved yet. Cassie's down there she's helping her cause, and she's trying to bring awareness to it. And we're going to see that these people are protesting, and we're going to see the cops are not the best. It's not about the cops angle though. It's just want to see enough that it pushes Cassie to see how why she would shrink the car.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of important. I was hey, I know it was you. Where's my car? And she's like, yeah, that's her car. No, but we're going to see the incident that brought that about.
Gotcha.
Because Cassie wants to help. She sees the problem. She knows the solution. Damn it, why is no one paying it? We're going to see her do the thing. So you're going to shrink the car. She's going to get arrested. So then Scott and Hope have to go bail her out. They had that scene. But Cassie's going to, now that we saw what Cassie was up to and what she was doing and why she was doing it, when Scott and Hope come and pick her up, they can have more of a scene. That scene's not going to have more context in the car of why she's so angry at Scott.
I see.
Dad, we need a hero. You were an Avenger. You saved reality, but the job's not done yet.
Yeah.
You keep saying...
If anything, you guys saving the world, actually kind of made some huge... you guys aren't dealing with the ramifications of what you guys did.
Yep. You keep saying you got to look out for the little guy. Dad, the little guy needs your help.
Yeah.
Where are you? So, and then Scott I think Scott can try to smooth it over a little bit, but it's not going to go as well as it did in the movie because this is, and Hope's she agrees with Cassie. Because she is trying and she's also running into some roadblocks. All this stuff is really important to set up. We're not going to spend too much time doing it, but we got to set this stuff up because it's important when they get down to the quantum realm. So eventually we're going to have dinner at the Pym house and everybody's there. Hope and Janet and Hank and Scott and Cassie and Luis and Kurt and Dave because they're part of the family, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They saved the world twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are part of the family.
They're part of the crew. They got to be around.
They have to be around.
And they at least need to be in the movie.
Yes.
They don't have to be in the large swath of it, but they have to be at least in it.
They have to be in the movie.
Yeah.
They're a part of this crew.
Uncle Luis, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's important that they're there.
I think you're going to like what I do with them, I think.
You're not. I haven't finished. I've only just started, my friend. So, we're going to have the dinner scene. And again, we're going to learn, Cassie's going to snipe at Scott. Luis is going to have, they're going to have some information. We're going to get a little bit more of the situation, through more of the characters, more of where they are as they start talking to each other. And then the whole quantum radar.
Are they still running the security company?
Yes.
Oh, great.
So then Cassie brings up the quantum radar.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, excuse me, what? And you see Janet get really angry. So go down. Everyone goes down to the lab. Everyone goes down to the lab. We're in the lab. And Kurt and Dave are the ones that are introduced to the ants in the colony. And so they can have a little banter back and forth with Hank about it. Uh-huh. So it's them. They're the ones learning about it as Cassie is showing them the radar. Janet's very pissed off. This time, though, she says, you turn it off right now. You don't understand the dangers that await are down there. do not ever contact or try to map or whatever you're doing to the quantum realm. You have no... Same thing happens. It gets pinged. The vortex happens. Everybody gets sucked down. Everybody goes to the quantum realm.
Okay.
Everybody goes. But this time, the ex-con gang, they all grab onto each other and they get pulled off on their own.
Hell yeah.
We see Scott and Hope reach out for each other because remember, they love each other.
They love each other.
They're in a relationship,
Yeah.
and the person most important to Scott besides Cassie is Hope.
Yeah.
And so they try to reach out to each other, but they can't quite reach. So they break up. So then, or not break up, but they get pulled apart. And then, so Scott like turns to Cassie because Cassie was already close by. So they fall, and they do the same basic thing happens. He and Biggins, and then they crash or whatever, and they're gonna fight this sun thing. The ex-con guys bloop, go away or get sucked off somewhere else. I heard it when I said it. The ants, get out of
Wait, they go what?
Nothing. The ants get knocked out of their colony and they get pulled off somewhere else. And then Hope, Scott, and Hank Hope, Hank, and Janet are also on their own. Okay, everyone's now been split up.
Great.
Now Act 2 can start.
Wait, so what happened to the ex-cons?
They got sucked away to another portion of the quantum realm.
Great. All right.
Did it. Good job, me. Okay, so Scott and Cassie fight that sun thing again, and then the quantum fighters show up and they get captured.
Great.
Same basic thing.
Sure.
Meanwhile, with Hank, Janet, and Hope, they're in the forest. The thing, the plane can come over, and Janet pushes them against the wall and says, "Shut up, don't say anything." And it's okay. The thing passes, and they're like, and they are just like, "This is amazing." That was the other thing. The other point was like, if they're in the quantum room for the first time, shouldn't they be like, "This?
Oh my god!
The chocolate factory is amazing!" Like, yes, it should be.
The snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
They should be a little bit more in wonder of like, in awe of like, what the heck? Oh my god, this is all insane. And so Janet in the forest here after the plane passes, she goes, "Okay, you guys don't understand what's going on down here." And we hear the first part of Janet's story. She's gonna tell it now. She was a freedom fighter. A madman came to power, and we fought to try to free everybody. And
you escaped me,
and
you got me out before I had the before.
No, we failed, and we failed.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually Scott got me, which is great. But but she just I was a freedom fighter. A madman came to power. He's ruling over everything with an iron fist.
Yeah.
You need to be very scared. We should not be here. We need to get out. So that information has now been relayed. A bad guy, we got to get out of here.
Enough, because I don't believe that she wouldn't give them enough information in that first moment to just get them to have them understand the stakes of what's happening.
Yes. We need to know why she's so spooked.
Yeah.
Right now. This is why. Great. Meanwhile, Scott and Cassie have been taken over to the quantum fighters. We had the whole goo situation, drinking the goo. It's not from a guy. It's just drinking the goo. What else do we find out?
I think it's fine being from a guy.
It was a little weird.
That was fun.
It was a little weird.
But it was like having holes that again,
was also
those
weird.
jokes didn't land.
Didn't really land. But we find out that after Scott drinks Scott will drink the goo because Louise comes out and is like, "Hey man, no, drink the goo. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. We've been here for days. It's all good." So because they got pulled down and they got crash landed by the fighters.
Yeah, or I like. Not to rewrite your fix, but I like the idea that they've been there for months. They are completely.
That makes way more sense. Yes.
Hey, where have you guys been?
Yeah.
We've been here for 6 months. They're completely integrated into society.
Yep. Let's do that.
What? We just got here.
That works way better.
Yeah. We just got here.
Way better.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
We're having a great time.
So they've been here for a while.
I love that goo.
Yeah.
He just chugs it.
So we meet. So the ex-con guys are there, and
Michael Pena, what a treasure.
He's fantastic. And so that's actually going to help some more here. So we're going to get a lore dump of who these people are, what their cause is, and stuff like this. And we're going to meet.
You know why that works? It also helps. It helps the ant situation.
Yes.
Because timey-wimey stuff.
More
timey-wimey stuff.
We've already set up the timey-wimey here.
Yeah.
Yep. So they start lore dumping, and we meet the head person of the fighters, that fighter woman, the woman who's in charge. And I just found out who that actress was, because she looked awfully familiar, and I was like, "Who is she?"
She does look really familiar.
She's the bad spy lady from Andor.
Oh, that's
No, not
right.
Andor. I'm sorry, Mando.
Mando.
She's the one that fried the guy.
That is her.
That's her. Yes.
Good for her.
Yep, that's her.
Man, why did they fry him?
He had the information. He had the cloning information.
But why did they want it?
His
gone?
brain had to go. I don't know. But that's her. Yeah, that's why she looks so familiar.
Huh.
Yeah. So we're gonna learn more about the situation with the fighters. No kidding. No, what are we gonna do now? Okay,
no
come
friggin'
on.
duh, man.
Come on, man. That's just supposed to be smart. So as we learn more about the fighters and stuff like that, and what the problem was about this, madman who this Kang has taken over. So for the first time we heard this guy, we're gonna see that all these people have been displaced from their homes. We have no choice but to rally and fight against him, even though it's a losing cause. Oh boy, that sure sounds a lot like what Cassie was going through in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So of course Cassie's like, oh well, this is a situation where I actually can fight. Yep, let's go, because she's like gung ho. We're joining this cause. And so again, Scott's gonna be like, what are you doing? I don't want my daughter fighting.
We just need to get out of here. This isn't our fight.
Exactly. So it's parallels what's going on in San Francisco, so they can have more fights now, which is really good.
Theme is important.
So then Modok shows up, everyone gets attacked, everything goes crazy here. But at this point, Luis gets captured with our leader lady.
Uh-huh.
And so they get taken off while Scott and Cassie are also captured by Modok. And Kurt and Dave make it out with the telepath and the goo kid.
Yeah.
Oh, also, we learned that Kurt was trying to kind of go by the Baba Yaga, and everyone keeps laughing at him because the telepath's like, that's not his name. His name's Kurt, and it's like a whole joke. He's trying to rebrand himself. He's into brand new people, and he's like, it's not working. He's like, oh man, come on, I just want to be the Baba Yaga. It's like, but it's not working. So back over to Janet, Hope, and Hank. They're like, we need to get to the capital. We need to get to a city. I need to meet a contact. I think I know a way out of here. And then we're gonna see that caravan. But this time, she's going to say, oh, I think this is that guy's caravan, who I used to fight with back in my, context. The very thing we were looking for earlier. Context about who this guy is. But she doesn't tell him everything. Just like, I used to fight with this guy. I think I know who this is. I think he can help us. He shows up. Then they fight. And all the blank spaces in her story, like, the fact that she can rip his arm off and stab him is perfectly fine. Again, played for comedic effect. But like,
yeah.
But we didn't say that at the beginning. We kind of built him up to be this really tough big guy, and she kicks the crap out of him. Haha, humor. Because we subversion of expectations.
Yeah.
They go to the Capitol. They go to the bar. This time, it's a sleazy bar. It's not like a highfalutin bar. It's like a dive bar. And we meet Bill Murray again. Or it could be somebody else. I don't think Bill Murray did a very good job with this scene. Because the scene was played wrong. Like, it should have been full of tension and menace.
Yeah.
And it was played with, like, whimsy and glee, and then like the reveal of like, I'm actually on his side now because you left us. Like, whoa, this is totally like everything is shifted real quick. This is very weird. I feel like you would have been way angrier most of this scene, or that underlying tension should have been like played up more because like you hate her because of what she did. Because he's gonna tell the second part of her story of, oh, did she tell you she was a freedom fighter? Oh, but what she didn't tell you was, yeah, she was our leader. We fought for years against this guy and lost so many friends. And eventually, she abandoned us. Did she tell you that? She abandoned us to him. We're here. The reason why this all happened is because of her. And so, bad guys show up. They fight. They escape. They get away. Great. That's when they have a flashback over to the cells. And we're going to meet with the leader lady and Luis are in a cell together. And so Luis is like, hey, we're actually going to be okay because my friend Scott is here. And I need to tell you about my friend Scott. He's a superhero. He's an Avenger. And so we're going to have a quick rundown from Endgame up to, or kind of like, to end from like just the beginning of Endgame.
Yes.
Or Infinity War to right now.
If Luis is in the movie.
Luis's story version of it, though.
Yes.
So, some fun shots of like from the Battle of Endgame.
Yeah.
And like leading up to it of like, maybe we don't get everybody back for it because that might be, just line editing. That might be a little expensive. But like, we're going to like recontextualize that last Battle of Endgame through Luis's story so that he can like, hey, leader lady, it's okay. Scott's awesome. And she's like unimpressed. So then we had the scene with Scott, Kang, and Cassie. And now that Cassie's got all this background information about what Kang is and what the situation is and how it's so similar to what's going on in San Francisco and the world at large, she finally gets to tell truth to power. And Cassie goes off. she's just gonna let Kang have it verbally because it's been building in her for years at home and most throughout the movie. We now get to really see what Cassie stands for and what she would say to somebody in authority.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Kang immediately kills her.
Kills her?
Her neck just snaps.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, remember how Vader killed that kid? And Obi-Wan?
No. I understand. I'm not questioning the manner in which she is killed.
Yeah.
I am questioning you're killing Cassie in this movie.
Dead. Just mid-sentence, just dead.
I'm sorry. What? Okay. All right, I see that look in your eye. Okay.
She just
What?
Crumples. Scott freaks and starts slamming against the thing, and Kang just turns to him and pins him against the wall. And then Scott pinned, powerless to do anything.
Yeah.
Kang walks over to Cassie's cell. He just passes through the barrier and just reaches down, grabs her neck, and we see like his hand glow, and her neck snaps back into place. And she takes a deep breath. And he just turns back to Scott and goes, now, you're going to go and get me what I want. Or I'm just going to keep killing her in front of you. And Cassie's just like, you know, Cassie told Truth the power and got cut down. So, like, the wind is out of her sails for a second because, like, she's been full of, piss and vinegar.
Like, life and death really doesn't, it's no different to me.
Yeah. Because then you can have a little monologue of just like, I've killed so many Avengers. Yeah. I don't even know who you are. Are you the one with the hammer? He just doesn't care. You're gonna do what I want, or I'll start killing her, or maybe should I start maiming her? Like he's going to truly threaten her, and Scott's like, oh, okay, don't hurt her. I will get what you want. They walk through the portal. Then we flash back over to Janet, Hank, and Hope, and then she's gonna have the origin story. This is what they're about to be. That's what they're about to be after. The whole backstory about the thing, the engine blew up, about all that kind of stuff. Great. Information downloaded. Fantastic. So she's like, this is all my fault. I feel bad because I'm the reason why he has taken over the quantum realm. So like, and there's a bounty on my head the whole time. So like, I wanted to avoid him if I could, but now we can't. We got to go stop him from doing this thing. I don't know where it is. Great. Everyone's headed in the same direction. So now that we know what's about to happen, Scott jumps down into the probability thing. He palms that little disc to Cassie. Also, we get a little scene between Cassie and Modok in the scene of like, Darren, what? I remember you as a kid. I know you tried to kill me, but man, seriously? Cassie's like, we're gonna have Darren's same arc, but we're gonna get there a little differently this time. She's gonna just keep kind of jabbing him a little bit, like trying to remember it. Like, dude, you're a human, man. What the hell? This isn't you. This is ridiculous. I thought you were like a cool business guy.
Yeah.
Remember you threatened me? You guys fought on a train. This is like, it was my little choo-choo train, but like, what the heck, man? This isn't you.
Yeah.
The whole probability thing happens again. Same scene. Shrinks the core. Kang gets the core. Everyone gets the crap kicked out of him. Hank crashes the ship. Oh no! Everything looks dark for our heroes. Janet gets taken. Oh no! And Cassie's, of course, is still taken. Oh no! What's gonna happen? Ah, so scary! Oh no! So, Hank wakes up in the crashed ship. We hear the little thing again in his ear. He looks up. We hear stuff off screen. We do not see a foot yet, by the way. We just hear. Hank looks up, smiles. He goes, okay. Scott and Hope. There's so many characters. Scott and Hope wake up. Remember how they're in a relationship and they love each other?
Yeah.
They're gonna embrace and kiss and thank God that you're still alive. That guy is super scary. I thought we couldn't even touch him. What the heck? Oh my God! But because they love each other, they're in a relationship. Like they love each other. We're gonna be reminded that they actually care about each other in this scene before Hank rolls back in. I was like, Hank, you're okay, thank God. But we gotta figure out how to get back to him. He's got the engine. Everything's, oh my God, it's Armageddon. It's Act 3. How are we gonna get him? He's like, actually, we have a plan. And it's like, some old friends showed up. And then the ants show up. And I was like, oh, the ants! Right from the thing! Oh, but that's perfect! Yeah. Timey-wimey, because we just did the thing with the guys! Yeah. Oh my God! This all works out! So we go they meet up with Kurt and Dave, who is with the rest of the fighters, they are now in charge. With the leader lady who captured, they are the ones in charge.
Yeah.
So they have the freedom fighters. Meanwhile, Cassie is able to do the thing, break out. She gets to Luis and the leader lady, and Luis is like helps her break the lock because he's like, oh, because I know stuff, man. I'm an ex-con securities.
Yeah.
Hello, this is my job.
Yeah.
Just and we've been here 6 months. I know how to do the tech. Great. Cassie's able to get him out. That whole same thing happens of like them, like she's getting to the thing. Kang's like, okay, we're going to attack, blah, blah, blah. And Cassie interrupts like, hey, wait, now's the time. He's weak. We can actually do it. He's not invincible. Yeah. And so we have the Act 3 fight and everybody comes because I love that fight. It's a great fight. Fun. So all the same basic stuff happens in Act 3, but here's the difference in the fight. The holes joke doesn't happen because it's dumb. Kurt does something really awesome and cool and saves a bunch of people, and then they start referring to him as the Baba Yaga. And he's like, yes, my moment has finally come. Dave also does something super rad and cool because he also has to have a moment. I don't know what it is, but it's something awesome. It's something awesome and cool. I'm sorry, Dave.
That's the fun thing about writing these every week is that at a certain point you have to be like, he'll do something like I can't write it. I'm not actually writing this script.
If we had more people, if I had more time on a whiteboard, we could
that wasn't on strike.
Yeah, we could do something to come up. Yeah, he would do this. Darren isn't whiny when he's fighting Cassie.
No,
but he's able. He does get beaten. Cassie does embiggen and beat him, and then she's like, Darren, just stop, man. He's gonna destroy everything. You're a part of everything, man.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Like, do you really think? Like, do you think this is gonna make anyone like you?
Yeah. Respect you? Isn't that what you're after? And so Darren isn't whiny about the whole thing, but he'll have his moment in a little bit. So when things look really bleak and Kang finally enters the battlefield, Hank's gonna walk up like out of nowhere and it's like stop the battle, and Kang's like, who are you? Oh, I'm Ant-Man. He's Ant-Man. I'm a Ant-Man.
I'm another Ant-Man.
And so Kang's like, it doesn't matter, and blasts him. But Hank's got Ant Tech, future Ant Tech force field, nothing. And I was like, cool. I had a feeling, and then just does the signal, and then the ants swarm. Because I wanted Hank to come out first to have that cool ass moment, and then have the ants wave in, and not the opposite, not the other way around.
Well, yeah, I think if I were writing that scene, it would be like who are you? I'm Ant-Man. It's like, shouldn't you have like a suit and shrink around and stuff? And he's like, different kind of Ant-Man. And then the ants come, like actual ants.
Yeah.
Godos.
So then, of course, the ants wreck shop all over the place. It's really awesome and cool. Oh, and then, of course, the freedom fighters from inside in the prison, Luis and the leader lady, they all meet up and they fight. So everyone's getting moments. It's a huge Act 3 fight. That we've built up. Everything's awesome, great. Kang, the force field goes down. Oh, Modok, Darren comes and knocks down the force field.
Yeah,
and allows the ants to take him away. Everyone's gonna go home now. We did it. Hooray! Luis and the ex-cons go, and the leader lady decides to go with Luis because they're actually together.
Oh, that's
so sweet. Fun. That's nice. And then just as Scott's about to go through the doorway home, Kang shows back up and knocks him away. Oh no! Scott gets his ass kicked. He doesn't land a punch, or I think he lands maybe 2 punches, and Kang's laughing at him because Scott can't do anything to him. Scott's not a fighter.
No.
He knows how to punch, but he's not that good.
Yeah.
Hope's the one who's a really good fighter.
Yeah.
Scott gets his butt kicked, and then he finally gets to the line of I'm not trying to win. I just got to make sure you lose.
I think it was an incredible moment that they didn't build up to in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scott has a handful of stuff, smashes it into the core again. But this time, a crack happens, and doesn't just a probability storm erupts again.
Oh.
Because remember, we just did that 45 minutes ago?
And that was a great little sequence.
Yeah.
And so we get to see Scott and Kang fight each other in all sorts of different
Yes. And so the probability storm happens, and then all these Scotts show up, and all these Kang show up. And all those Scotts are getting wrecked and murdered. And Kang looks around and is like, all the probabilities, and not one of them do you beat me. But as he's gloating, Scott's looking around. Because in all the probabilities, all of them, you're telling me there's not one where Scott wins? Scott finally looks around and sees in the distance one Scott winning. And he's just watching him and sees what he's doing. And then he uses that Scott's moves and ability to predict what Kang's going to do. And he actually is able to push Kang back and bob and weave and actually hit him. And then all the other Scots start winning. We see all the other Scots turning it around. And eventually, Kang gets pushed into the...
Can I write a line for you in
Please?
that moment?
Yeah.
I think it's... and he's like, that's the thing about ants, is that we work really well together. And so maybe it's like they're all helping each other out in ways that like Kang's probabilities can't help.
Kang wouldn't.
Yes. Yeah,
Kang wouldn't,
yeah.
because he's a solitary character.
Yeah, he's not helping anyone else out. Whereas like the other Scots are like helping all the other Scots kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. That's really good.
Because we are Scott.
We're Scots.
Yeah.
We are Scots in the Church of the Oxford Common.
All the Scots, eventually come together.
Shower before using the pool.
They knock him into the engine, and he gets shrunk or whatever happens there.
He gets garbled. Whatever. Yeah, he gets garbage disposal. Wait, what was that? Gounfed. I like that.
He gets Jamba Juice.
He gets Jamba Juice.
Yeah.
He gets
And then
temporal Jamba Juice.
Yes. And so Scott's just there, like kneeling, like I did the thing, I think, but I don't think if I can go home. The storm, the window, and all. Hope shows up because remember she loves him and they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so she's able to get Scott to come back and come home. Because the weird thing, I was watching the movie a couple nights ago, and Hope comes back through to help kick Kang's butt a little bit and knock him into the thing. And so they're like, oh, well, we're trapped here forever because the door closes. I was like, yes, we're here now. Everyone's happy. Yay.
I was actually cool with them being in the quantum realm for a while.
So was I. But they're just standing there looking over the window. The door opens up behind him, and neither of them look. They just say, let's go home. They didn't even acknowledge. There was no acknowledgement.
They may have heard the portal.
Maybe, but there was just like, let's go home.
Like, I will say, though, that she's been working on tech to map the quantum. Like, I don't think it was unreasonable to...
It was not.
It didn't feel hackneyed that they could open the portal.
It did not. It just seemed like the order of events, like, shouldn't you be like reacting to the doorway open or like?
Also, I don't think that you wouldn't get like the quantum bends from ascending that quickly out of the quantum realm. Do you know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
Because you're traveling a good amount of distance very quickly.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like would have severe ramifications. Yeah,
because you're like this tall, and then you should be this. Yeah, you should be.
Like I don't feel like they should be okay.
If anything, when they come back through to the real world or to our level of reality, they should be. And you do just kind of little baby tiny baby.
Doesn't track, but
either way, everyone's happy. We little fade out, fade back in. Scott, this is another montage, just like at the end of the movie. Everything's great with Scott. Everyone's happy and good. We spotted the quantum. Wait a second, he did say that maybe there's something did I just unleash hell upon reality?
Maybe the best part of the movie.
The fact that they actually took a moment for Scott to be like, actually like, oh my God,
did we just win?
What did I just do?
Did we just do a good job?
He said we didn't know what was coming. Oh no.
That's like the first time we've ever seen anything like that in a superhero movie.
Yes.
Ever.
And the camera, it hung and it moved in a little bit as he was like really like, what did I just... No, I'm fine. Like it was great. It was great because it was both...
Paul Rudd's one of the few people that can pull that off.
It was both really serious and important.
Yes.
And also hilarious because he just immediately shook it off. But but his dread was supposed to be right.
Like we got a graduate ending to Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yes, and I hope at some point in the future, if ever whatever story direction Marvel goes in here, that there will be a moment where Scott's like, guys, I actually know who this is. I ran into him in the quantum realm. Yeah. Information dump because I'm Paul Rudd and I'm fun. Everything is fine. They have the birthday dinner for Cassie. Oh, I forgot. Darren didn't die. So he came back.
Which one?
Modok.
Oh, Darren.
Darren didn't die.
Oh, okay.
So he comes back too. So as the montage of everything is fine, we check in with everybody just a little bit. and he's working at XCon with the
Oh, okay.
with the guys, and so is the leader lady.
Modok working with. Okay,
Because that's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Because that's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
everything's fine.
I can't argue with that. That's super
they have a little dinner, and everyone's there. Not Darren, but everyone else is there because Darren. That's gonna take some time to acclimate him back to society. People are like, what's that? It's Darren. It's fine. So yay, a happy ending for Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, this cake is really good. Yum 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 yum.
Yeah.
Mid-credit scene.
Okay.
We can do the end credit scene. We can have Kangs, and we can have him serious.
All right.
But the mid-credit scene, it's 4 years later, and Luis is tucking in like a young 3-year-old.
Oh.
And he goes, Daddy, I want to. What's this? How did you meet Mommy? And so Luis does a quick, 3 to 3.5 minute
or
version.
if we're editing it, I mean, like, if it's a post-credit sequence, then it's got to be short. He's just like, all right, so.
Or possibly, or maybe,
or we want to see the whole thing.
Or we see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's for a DVD release. Or not DVD, or DVDs, what are those? But I want the whole version of the movie.
Yeah.
Luis tells his kid the whole version of the movie in Luis's story fashion.
Because that's the best.
Because it's the best. We did it a little bit earlier with Endgame. That was funny. But if we're doing it, let's just... Because we could just see him telling you that he's the hero of the story.
I think you're really gonna really like where I put my Luis explains everything that's going on.
Awesome.
Because it's Ant-Man, and that's what Ant-Man we want.
Yes,
that's what we want.
It's a great device.
And this movie didn't give it to us.
It did
I'm
not
mad about it.
Not at all. So that's the end.
Awesome.
That's the end.
That's great, man.
We
Good
see
fix.
everybody. It makes having them be in the past 6 months in the past makes more sense of why they would be in a relationship instead of just a couple of days. Thank you for the help on that one. So that's it.
Absolutely.
All right, bud, hit me.
Okay. My fix of Ant-Man Quantumania. Boom. Here we go. So we wake up on Scott. We're getting inner monologue of he has woken up late and he is late for work. As we see him get ready for work really quickly, we see him catch the bus and take the bus to work. And as he is running in to a Baskin Robbins, we see his boss yelling at him for being late, and he says, "Man, it's a hard day to be Scott Lang." As he puts his Baskin Robbins hat and his Baskin Robbins thing on, and Baskin Robbins that he is in explodes. We realize that we are not in San Francisco. We are in New York, and there is an invasion of an alien force in New York, and we see our Avengers coming together to stop Loki's invasion of what are those aliens called in that movie?
Chitauri.
The Chitauri invasion of New York. We get like the similar shot like starts to build up of the spin, and we see our alternate Avengers. We see Captain America, but then things start to get weird as we see Beta Ray Bill. We see the Thing. We see Mr. Fantastic, Mrs. Fantastic, the Human Torch, and as he clicks his helmet open, we see a deep-faked young Michael Douglas, Hank Pym, say, "Bucky, I don't know how we're going to get out of this one." And we see it as a completely different Captain America. And we see Janet, another deepfake Janet Pym, rolling as the Wasp, saying, "I've got this, guys. You guys have got to you guys got to handle street level." And we see this alternate Avengers with all of these different with these different characters start fighting the Chitauri. But very quickly, a portal opens up, and we see Kang the Conqueror roll through and completely dismantle this version of the Avengers. Yeah. So Scott Lang's in this universe, but he works with Baskin Robbins, and he is actively dead. Kang the Conqueror rolls through, bodies him, and then the last one still fighting is Hank Pym. Kang and they're having a conversation because Hank is kind of the Iron Man of the group.
Sure, yeah.
In a lot of different comic book versions, like Hank Pym is very, very smart, and very, very snarky.
Very the snarkiest.
I would argue that MCU Iron Man is closer to Hank Pym than actually Tony Stark, but that's neither here nor there.
And you would be correct.
But we get a conversation between the two of them, and Kang says essentially, "This realm has an Ant-Man. Ugh, like, why even bother?" And just like gushes him. But then we see like the Chitauri like that have been defeated by the are getting swept up by all of Kang's forces. And he's like, another realm. But then we see portals start opening up, and we see other Kangs rolling out to slowly dismantle what Kang's is going on. And then we see the council roll out on like a floating disc and being like, Kang the Conqueror, like, you have been held in contempt of Kang Court. Like, and
dun.
like, we sentence you to exile. Cut. We're out. So we see what Kang has been doing. He's been going realm to realm. Just kind of.
It's not just a.
We see him conquer.
He wins.
Now, and then we cut to the normal intro of like him walking down the street, being like, "Hey, everything's been great. I like being Ant-Man. It's fun."
Thank you, Spider-Man.
Yeah, thanks, Spider-Man. You're welcome. Woo. He's like, hey, thanks, Spider-Man. Who? It all of that comes crashing down when he walks by a store with TVs in the window. You know how like that happens in movies and nowhere in commerce. You know how we all just have a fundamental understanding of like television stores and how they just have TVs in the window and we're like, oh, and you never see that.
You're right.
Ever.
We don't.
You
that
never
doesn't
see it.
Exist.
It doesn't actually exist. Anyways, or it may have existed in like the 50s and it's just a trope.
Our time, yeah.
Just a trope we've had forever still. He sees that there is a bank robbery going on downtown San Francisco, and the news is covering that Ant-Man is saving the day. And someone's like, "Hey, aren't you Ant-Man?" He was like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Uh-oh.
And so we cut to an active bank robbery going down, and we figure out that there is someone taking out the bank robbers, and it come to find out that it is Cassie. And she is kicking butt. But she's not perfect at it yet, and it's not going great. And at a certain point, she's like, "Hey, I thought I was going to be able to do this one solo, but I might need backup." And then we see Hope swoop in as the Wasp, take out the trash. We find out that Hope has been kind of mentoring Cassie,
sidekicking Cassie
to be a hero. They finish out the job. Everyone's like, "Thanks, hey man. Thanks to Wasp. You're the best.
You're great. You're awesome. We love you.
We're like, yeah. And then Scott finds out where they are and like finds them after the bank robbery, and he is really, really upset. He's mad because this is not really what he wanted for his daughter. He's like, I have worked this is just like what happened to my life, but I've worked really hard so you could didn't have to do this. You could live I wanted you to live a normal life. Like, I have not lived a normal life. And she gets frustrated with him, and she was just like, yeah, just like I've been spending time with Hope because like you've been like spending so much time like just like being a famous Avenger, and like you haven't really had time for any of us, and like so we're just like I guess I'm just like continuing in the family line because like you don't have time for it or us anymore. And they're like, we'll talk about this later, blah blah blah. Just giving them more time to talk, giving them more of a struggle. So when they come together later, it's actually a payoff.
Yes.
Okay. And so, he like wants to know like what's been going on between the two of them, and Hope finally relents and is like, okay, we'll show you the lab. And so they show like in their basement, like there's a secret door, and like Cassie and Hope have been like working on all this quantum stuff
Cool.
Together. And she's like, it's been actually good for like, like you're important to me, like it's important that Cassie and I get along, and I figured and this is one way we connected. So like I'm sorry, Scott, but like this is like being connected to your daughter is important to me because I love you. And so like
because they love each other.
because they love each other,
They're in a relationship, right?
so like expanding that. And he's like, I understand, like I get that, but like this isn't what I meant. and he's like, also like your parents are due for dinner at any point. Like we need to get out of here. Cut to them standing at the door.
Yeah.
I forgot an important part. They go into the lab, and another person that has been helping them in that lab is Luis. He's like, oh, hey, you guys are back. You did great at the bank. He's like, Luis. He's like, I don't know, man. I've been bored. He's like, the security company kind of runs itself now. I don't know. I'm kind of bored. This is fun. It's fun to help with. I mean, man and man, you know. And then Hank and Janet shows up, and then she explains. We get the whole. I think the concept of the quantum radar is actually quite good for getting them back.
Absolutely.
So all of them go in. The only difference being Janet, Hank, and Hope are still. The three of them are still together. The only thing that changes is that Luis gets teleported with Cassie and Scott. Although now hearing your fix, I think Luis getting there early and being there for 6 months ahead of time is actually really clever. Yep. So I might steal that. But anyways,
can you steal from yourself, Jay?
I suppose.
Okay.
But future me, variant me, yeah.
Take that, past Jay. Haha, my idea now.
Now, they meet, let's just say Luis has already been there for 6 months because timey-wimey.
Yeah.
And Luis, like, introduces them to the rebels, and we find out, we get a huge lore dump about the quantum realm.
Yes.
And we get, like, the lay of the land, and it's like, hi, like, we're kind of a mishmash of, like, all the different tribes of the quantum realm. And, like, here are all the different tribes of the quantum realm. The tribes are kept like specific because we have this despot Kang who rose to power, and he is like works very intently on keeping all of us separate. And so like we have all been refugees from our different places and have come together because like we don't want to be separated anymore. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay. And then the rebels are instead of attacked by Modok, they are attacked by Darren as Yellow Jacket. He's in his suit. It's like kind of marred up a little bit, but like he's clearly like been like cybernetically enhanced, like scientifically enhanced by God knows what.
Right.
And he's like, oh, like I've been waiting a long time for this. Hey guys, like I'm there's a new sheriff in town here in Quantum Realm, and I'm here to take you to him.
Buzz.
But, yeah, and so we get a Yellow Jacket fight because we know he's been taken here.
Right.
And they eventually defeat him, and they find out through questioning him with the telepath that in order to find and reunite with Janet, Hank, and Hope, there is a facility where Yellow Jacket came from that has the majority of the quantum realm mapped out. It also has the ability to communicate across all of the different tribes and all of quantum realm, so they can send a message out.
Cool. Okay.
Now cut back to Janet, Hank, and Hope. We get Janet gives us the lore dumps. I think happen in like a similar fashion. But they find a means of transport, and she's like, I need to head to X city because I have contacts there. Now they head to that city. As they are getting into the outskirts of town, she was like, this place looks a lot different. This is not. I'm not 100% sure what this looks like. And we're seeing, like, she's like, the architecture's changed, and we're seeing, like, a lot of, like, stone monoliths and a lot of, like, carved runes and things like that. She was like, I'm not sure who's in charge here anymore. And we see them pass a sign that is all in runes, but we as the audience member see the runes, like, come together, and it shows New Jotunheim. and we head in, and she's making her way through the city, and we can see more of Quantum Realm,
Sure.
and like they can exist in the city a little bit and try to find their way. And basically, like, eventually someone is, like, presented in front of them. It's like, we know who you're looking for. You can't talk to them anymore, but you can take them to the new person in charge of this city.
Okay.
And they approach, like, a long stairwell with, like, just big, long, big wooden carved, just rune covered, and they find themselves with an audience of female Loki.
The same from
Loki. Yeah. And we get a lore dump from female Loki that
what was her? Do you remember her name?
Effie something. I think her name was just Loki. She was just Loki. And we get a lore dump from her that
Sylvie.
But Loki. She was Loki.
But she is Loki.
Sylvie indicates to them that she has been specifically on the hunt for Kangs. Because she understands the ramifications of the choice that she makes, and she now knows that Kangs are her responsibility.
Right? Holy crap! I completely forgot the end of this Loki. Oh my god!
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I watched the last episode of Loki last night. She was
oh
like,
my god! I completely forgot about that.
She fully understands that like what happened is her fault, and so she's here to defeat. She's here to take out all Kangs, but this one has been particularly tricky because this quantum realm is ridiculous. She's like, this is a bad one, so we really had to dig in here.
Dude, that's so good. Oh my god.
So she's there. She was like, but we also get the lay of the land of what's going on with the quantum realm.
Sure.
And she was like, honestly, this place is so fractured that like, and Kang is so entrenched in his position, like there's only like we would have to unify all of quantum realm in order to take him out. So, and I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but like if I'm open to ideas. And they're like, well, we probably need to get Scott back, and she's like, well, I think I might know where he is. I think I might know where he is, and I think, and we have people in places that can tell us these things. So we find we cut back to Scott, Cassie, and Luis. They make their way to the facility that what they figured out from Yellow Jacket, and it is the laboratory, the AIM laboratory from my second fix that got shrunk even further, and it's the same facility, and Scott's like, oh, well, we've done this before.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, great. And Luis is already punched out an AIM guy, and he's putting the suit on. He's like, we've done this before. Like, I love it. Look at me. Just like deja vu all over again, right? Does deja vu worked on you? I have no idea, man. So they sneak their way into the AIM facility to try to make it to this communications array so they can communicate with them. And then we finally get the full reveal of George Charlton, who I had in my second fix as the leader of AIM. We get the full reveal of Modok in his true fact, because we set up Modok in the second one,
right?
And so there's a little bit of a fight between Modok and AIM soldiers, between Cassie, and eventually they are defeated by Modok in this moment, mostly because Cassie and Scott can't get on the same page. They lose. Modok doesn't win. They lose because they can't work together. Because like he's trying to tell her what to do, and she's just like, "You haven't been Ant-Man for a while. Like, what do you even know about being Ant-Man? Like you're too busy like being a success."
Yep.
When I like you're that's the point I want to keep driving. She's like, you're just like too busy like being a successful person in this world and like being an Avenger and like getting wrapped up in that like you kind of forgot like what actually being a hero is. And so they lose that fight. Modok is planning on Modok kind of lore dumps about after Janet had done a lot of lore dumping about Kang. We get a lore dump from Modok on them swooping in after Janet had left.
Right.
After Janet had left the the quantum realm,
Right.
and had left Kang with all of the situation. Like they came in to like fill that gap.
Yeah.
So the majority of what Kang has going on in the main capital is AIM.
Oh.
It's not all his creations. It's like AIM. Modok is like his second in command. I don't like him being like a lapdog.
Yes.
I like him being he's a mastermind. He's a big head. That's how it works.
So all those wrinkles, so many wrinkles, the biggest, deepest wrinkles.
Great. They build the army. We explain all that. He's going to take them to Kang. But we also see the communications array. We know it's there. That's where the fight is.
Yes.
And I think maybe they bump into that machine, and that's how they can get. That's how Hope and all them kind of get a lock on them. But AIM takes Luis as they're like, we're gonna hold on to him as as leverage. And so Luis stays with AIM. And they're like, he's like, what are you gonna do with him? He's like, oh, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
And so, similar situation. They go to Kang. Kang holds Cassie hostage,
right?
And also, but they're kind of fighting the whole time. So it's the kind of thing where we get Scott into the quantum engine,
sure,
and he kind of starts to go crazy. But he also has Cassie in his ear the whole time. And they're kind of bickering, and eventually. Like part of why it starts to fail is that he's kind of fighting with his daughter while he's in there. She's trying to help, and he's just like, I don't need you to help, and blah, blah, blah. And the eventual emotional catharsis of what happens and what inspires Scott to do the thing is he's like, why are you so mad about like me being an Avenger all the time? And she was like, because you were before you were Ant-Man, you were already my hero. Like I didn't need you. I don't need to have a successful dad. I liked you when you were an ex-con. Like I already loved you then. Like you don't have to prove to me that you're a success. You were already my dad. He's like, you're right. Like I just need to be me. And she's like, yeah, just be you. And then everyone's just like, yeah, we're great. We like each other.
We're Scots.
We're Scott. And then
we're Scott. Yeah, we're Scott.
Yeah, and so that's when they come together, and then there's a little bit of emotional catharsis between Cassie and Scott, but also they're kind of on the same page now.
Yay!
So Hope and all them find them. There's that little bit of a fight. The kerfuffle. Kang has this thing. He makes absconds off to his base.
Ooh, not right again.
And then we realize that. That's when our Hank has his the ants show up.
Yep.
And he explains to everyone that he was like, man, these ants they work together. It's incredible. Like these ants they have the ability to just like to work together in a way that like it's incredible what they can't do. And they're all like, work together. And then they send the ants out to all of the different. We see ants showing up to all the weird little tribes of the quantum realm that we've seen.
Oh, that's
and like
great.
Kind of communicating the information. And then we get ants kind of like invade the AIM facility to get to Luis. And Luis uses the communications array to everyone. And he explains to everyone in the quantum realm, hey guys, so like here's what's gonna happen. So like, you know how like Kang has like the thing, and then he goes on for way too long, and even like Sylvie's like, what? Okay. And then so we get like Sylvie shows up to help out with our gang. And there is a conversation that's happening as like they're like preparing to like go fight Kang, and really the long or the short of it is, Cassie still stays with Kang. We're keeping that her breaking out stuff. She sees the announcement.
Yeah.
Like, she knows that like she's the one that's like getting them out from within because that just helps.
Yeah.
But Sylvie has like a very specific conversation with Janet and with Scott and Hope, and she was just like the shot like. Janet's like, oh, I'm assuming like the kill shot is yours, Sylvie. She's like, oh, I don't have to kill him. I just have to make like he doesn't have to die. He just has to lose. He just has to lose. That's it. it was like him losing is like whatever that means. He's here to win. He has to lose. And so it sets up the that whole thing at the end there.
With Scott, yeah.
So honestly, the invasion happens. I want more variety of Quantum Realm. I want Quantum Realm to be weirder, quite frankly. We get that advance, and we see Cassie and her dad work together in a way, that like they are bonding again. Like they are taking out the trash in a way that's more indicative of them as they used to like play and be weird and do weird stuff. Like it wasn't. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So and they,
good job,
like
Jelly Bean.
With like them riding the ants and everything. And we get to a point where the fight happens, and I'm stealing something from your fix.
Oh no!
I am taking, I'm taking that quantum thing. That's so good.
The probability. Part 2.
That's amazing, and because it's the third of the thematic of just like that's the difference, Kang, is that like you are isolated. You have to win on your own, like. You can't accept any help from anyone that isn't like under your boot. Like we just like ants have a tendency, like we work together, and that's why we'll always win. You are but one man, and we are
Scots.
We are Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And so so all the Ant-Mans work together and defeat Kang. He goes back in the thing, and and that kind of wraps up my movie. Now. My post-credit sequence is them back. Scott has gone back to work at XCon Security.
Sure.
Because he's like tired of just like being a celebrity. And he's having a conversation with Luis, and they're like, Luis, he's like, yeah, what happened with you in the AIM lab? He's like, oh yeah, they did experiments on me, homie. And they're like, what? He's like, what? He's like, oh yeah, they did all sorts of weird stuff. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, check it out. And like, he clips open a lighter, holds his hand over it. He's like, and then lights his hand on fire. If you remember from the second movie, one of our big villains and what they were working on in that lab was adaptoid technology.
That's right.
So they turned Luis into an adaptoid. And then he like touches Scott and then shrinks. And that's the end of the cut. And then my post credit sequence.
That's fun.
That's
real fun.
Is Sylvie? Is Sylvie realizing that like, well, my job is done here. That was Ant-Man. That this one gets defeated by Ant-Man. That never happened.
I never saw that coming. Yeah.
And then she walks through a portal into like the new. She's like, all right, and like
TVA?
checks one off the list and is like. I don't think it's a TVA thing. I think it's like kind of it looks a little homemade, and she's like, well,
because
on to the next.
She grabbed the thing, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's not like she's working with TVA.
Right.
But it is like a TVA bracelet. She's like, well, on to the next one.
We gotta.
And so Sylvie's taking out Kang's.
Dad, I want to punch you in your beautiful face. That's so because they showed Loki season 2 at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and I was like,
you don't have to heavy-hand it too. You can just pepper her in there.
Just because she was awesome.
Yeah,
I completely forgot the end of Loki.
She was like, yeah, I killed the one Kang that I probably shouldn't have, and now I got to kill all of them.
That's so good.
Ha!
Oh,
yeah.
Good job,
Thanks, man.
Damn it, that was awesome.
Yeah, it felt good. I wrote that in a shower this morning. As I was listening to the second episode.
Good job, Shower Jay.
And it also has Beta Ray Bill in it. Who's that?
Man.
I was like, what different version of Thor? And it was like, yeah, that weird one.
He was on the tower in
true.
Ragnarok.
That's true. Yeah.
Hot damn, man.
Yeah, it was fun, right?
Well done.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Yeah.
We so fixed this movie.
Yeah, we really did.
We
did this way. Yeah, we did a good job this time.
Good job,
yeah.
us.
We're getting better at this.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
We're almost a
this
full
show
year
helps.
in.
This show really helps me like think creatively quicker. You know what I mean?
Well, we only have like a week for the next one. It's easy to be like this, that,
bang,
and this.
bang, boom,
Boom,
bing.
boom, boom,
What
boom.
would be fun? What would be fun? Remember, these are supposed to be fun movies.
We have no line editors. These are just words.
Words.
We're just words.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We have a lot of fun making this show.
Yes, we do.
As always, if you're listening to this on it, wherever you catch your podcatchers, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a 5-star review, maybe writing down some nice, happy, fun words, that would be great. Just how much you love us and what you had for breakfast. That'd be great. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell and doing that YouTube that you do so well. Guacamole's extra. You quantum realm fighting weirdos, you. Nope. Yep.
I mean, if this was just a normal YouTube video.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went into a fugue state and just kept going.
It's all right. In one probability of this video, that is how we would end it.
But there's more. We just got to find the one that actually lands the podcast right.
We do. It's in here somewhere.
And as we end every episode, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the slow future ants that you don't see coming. Huh, Kang? Didn't see that coming. That never happened before, now did it? Get wrecked, noob. Get good, Kang.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.